an abbreviated open because I messed it up a little bit. But welcome to Mascot Media's Talking Preps. We're here with Joseph Gerardi from Manalapan High School and Beth English as well. They were winners of our broadcast awards not only last year, but this year as well, both the event of the year and the play of the year. Thank you both for joining me today.
Blair, thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure. The Bravecast is, believe it or not, I'm looking at the website. Believe it or not, is a still a relatively new program. I guess is the best way to put it. Joseph, you started this in 2021 and already winning national awards. Talk me through how this started.
Yeah, so I figured that's kind of a good place to begin here. So, like you said, so the Bravecast we launched in 2021, so it's still in its infancy stages. And what's really cool is so when we started the program in 2021, we used to be a tape to live. So the students would come together after school, we would practice our show, and then we would just tape it and broadcast it the next day. But on December 17th of that same school year, we were able to switch the program to a totally live format. So basically, every Friday morning, our show goes live to the entire school. So Monday to Thursday, our students are prepping the script, they're writing the segments, they're editing, they're getting the graphics ready, right? So they're working to get that show ready. So that way on Friday morning, we have a broadcast for our school. What's also really cool is this year specifically, these seniors were freshmen when the program launched. So they were kind of the backbone in creating all of these different components and really revolutionizing what we do here. And I'm sure Miss English can, talk about it too. I remember when we were sitting in her office trying to come up with a name for this program as well.
Beth, tell me, when Joseph came to you, what was your initial reaction, and just walk us through that process.
I mean, I was immediately all in. A concept where kids are hyping up and promoting other kids in the school community. How can you not encourage that as a school administrator? And having such a passionate educator as Mr. Girardi to lead that charge, I was all about it. But honestly, I had no idea how instrumental this program would be, not only to our school, but our community at large. So having kids, encourage and hype each other up, that's what education is all about. So I was all in, chips in the middle, and they have ceased to amaze me every time. They just keep on leveling up every broadcast, every season. We've gone now from covering school events to community events to district events, and then doing live on-air broadcasting at sporting events. So as a high school athletic director and an admin who's in charge of after school activities, this is such a great platform. And to have other kids encouraging other kids is remarkable. They are literally the nucleus of the school.
When you all started this, did you have any idea that it would evolve into what it has in such a short time?
I mean,
Absolutely not. So, or you want to go ahead, Miss English? Or
Oh, go ahead, Beth. Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, to have an educator
Whoops.
that puts all the
Go
time
ahead.
and effort and work into this, it was amazing. You could never imagine what we have done in such a small amount of time. But in all honesty, I'm just a spectator looking in. It really is the heart, hours, passion of Mr. Girardi and being a role model to enhance the vision of his students.
Joe,
yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
no, yeah. So I was gonna piggyback off of that. So right now we're currently in the stages. We have about a month left of school. We're getting ready for our banquet and just stuff we're gonna do to celebrate our students. And I was just looking back, and it's so cool because the first photo that I took when we launched the studio, everyone was in masks, and there was maybe 10 students in here. Like I said, some of those were freshmen, now they're seniors. But I mean, 10 students in here just trying to figure out what we want this thing to look like. Now we have close to 60 students involved in the program. And like Miss English said, we've just really expanded and have been able to cover everything going on within the walls of Manalapan High School.
It's incredible what you've done, and the community has embraced this as well, right? I mean, I'm, what's been the community feedback that you've gotten?
Our community feedback is unbelievable. The fact that we're promoting all aspects of the school activities, because a lot of times the front porch of a school is your athletic programs, but Bravecast expands way beyond that. So it hits every marker of every community member and every alumni. So the Bravecast focuses not only on what happens outside the classroom, but within the classroom and the hallways, and really encouraging a culture of the school at Manalapan where they do multiple segments on the culture of respect, and not only highlighting athletes and their accomplishments, but all different types of accomplishments, starting from staff members to freshmen to seniors. So it's just amazing because it's really what's all good about educational based athletics and what education should be about. And that's encouraging others. Because I always say at any time I get an open mic, when I get to speak to the community, it is a rough time to be a kid right now. It is tough. The culture and the society that we live in can very easily be negative, but Bravecast has proven it's just as easy to be positive. And I think that's the biggest lesson. And I think that's why everybody has really embraced it, because it really is celebrating positivity and encourages fun. So as much as hard work and the hours that go into this, you can see the smiles on everybody's faces, not only our newscasters, but our community as you watch it. It just proves that when you work hard and you have fun, it will equate to success.
Talk about the
Yeah,
balance, Joe, to get everybody in, and not only to work hard, but to have fun while doing it, because that's a challenge.
no, I mean 100%. And she said it really well too. This whole program was designed to spread positivity, right? Especially at a time right now, it's hard to be a student, right? So and it's very easy to be negative. So at the same stretch, though, there's just so many amazing things happening within our school. We have students accomplishing things. They're breaking records. They're doing phenomenal things, and it's our job to make sure that we are promoting that in a positive way. And you mentioned fun as one of the things. What's awesome is when our script writing team gets together at the beginning of the week. They really take the time to create these segments that students are excited to be a part of. When they see our anchors going around the hallway getting interviews, students are excited to be on Bravecast, right? That's just something that they're excited about. They can't wait on Friday morning to see themselves, see their friends, on the show. And I think that's a big part of, this sense of community, is just how excited everyone is to not only be a part of the production side of Bravecast, but being on the actual show itself.
That's awesome. Man, I'm just it just fires me up talking about this. I just love it. Um, Not only are they're learning technical skills, broadcasting skills, and stuff, and the school is absolutely the perfect laboratory because you have so many different types of events, stories to tell. I mean, it's like the perfect laboratory for this. So not only are they learning technical skills, but they're also learning social skills, work skills, and everything else. I mean, this is really an awesome way for an individual, and I'm sure you've seen it, transform from kind of a shy, quiet person into someone of leadership capability, correct?
Oh, 1,000%. And, just kind of how you said that. So, we call the Bravecast a family, right? And our students, they just spend so much time and effort putting into the show. So our school day concludes at 2:06, and we have students that are staying here till 6, 7 o'clock beyond, just staying here to work on a segment, work on something new that they want to implement into the show. And, regardless of what they want to pursue as a future career, whether it's in broadcasting or something else, these collaboration skills, these communication skills, these leadership skills are, something that they're going to be able to take with them no matter what they do, especially the public speaking side. So, we have the anchors that are in front of the camera, but even behind the scenes, we have our senior production team. They run our production meeting every Monday. We have all 60 Bravecast members in that meeting, right? So even though they're not in front of a camera, they're still speaking in front of all their peers. Not only just speaking, but they're organizing the entire show, right? They're coordinating, all right, who's going to this location to film this? Who's going to be working on this portion of the script? Who's going to be creating, X, Y, and Z graphics, right? Or, if they want to work on like implementing something new. This year we just started, we do live interviews now. So the couch that you see behind me, we actually bring students and staff in live on Friday morning, and we will interview them on the couch. And, our technical team figures out how we're going to cut cameras on that, how we're going to move the set pieces in and out. And, once again, it's the students who are figuring this stuff out. And these are just life skills that are going to be unbelievable no matter what career path they decide to pursue after high school.
No question about it. Beth, I mean, as an administrator, you've got to love all the different things that a program like this offers.
It just is multiple opportunities across the board for our student body. And it just proves when kids have an opportunity and platform and you encourage that, it's limitless. And it's really, really good to see it go through fruition and see these kids grow and the program grow and be encouraging. So I think it's just a great thing. When you give kids that opportunity, which is kind of rare sometimes, but they really, really are very inclusive too, because it hits every type of student. And I think that's what's remarkable. It really is encompassing of that. And it proves those intangible qualities that, equate success. So, they are learning to be good teammates and to focus and magnify their strengths while they're working on their weaknesses. And what's better than that? So as an administrator, to see that happening within your confine of your school, it's unbelievable.
No doubt about it. And a live interview as we're doing this, as you saw, I screwed up the supers earlier. Nothing like a live interview to learn on the fly, but it's a rewarding experience because that's also a real world experience.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, event of the year and play of the year. First, let's take a look. For those who missed the broadcast awards, here was the play of the year.
Doherty drops back. It's a wide open man. It's Anthony Animal for a touchdown. Manalapan wins. It's game over. Manalapan have taken down St. John Vianney.
That was homecoming. As if, there wasn't enough going on. Then you have that, and I'm sure you both got chills hearing that again, right? You never
I
get
did.
chills.
I was just about to say, I have chills. I remember that. I was actually right on the end zone. Just remarkable. To capture a moment like that, live action, and the spirit of what's good for educational based athletics is amazing. So seeing that back, it always makes me happy,
And that's not Joseph, I would imagine that's not easy because these kids, those are their peers out there playing, all the emotion, everything, and yet everyone stayed calm and captured the moment. I mean, that to me that was very impressive.
Yeah. So, I have to take a minute and really recognize what went into that. So what's really awesome is it's actually funny. So a few days ago, I was sitting down with a few of our student leaders in the program, and I was telling them, about this interview and, what I wanted to talk about. And I have to recognize one of our students, Dan, because he couldn't have said it better than I could. He said that this program is a vessel for students to figure out what they want to do. So that football broadcast that you just watched, none of that was my idea. The students came up to me and said, hey, Mr. Gerardi, is there a way that we can live commentate the football games? And, they took the time to figure out, how do we wire the cameras? How do we get the technical switcher? How do we get the on-screen graphics? How do we get the commentary to come through? How do we figure out the commentary? This was all them, right? So something like this, like the passion, the dedication in that is just unbelievable. The students came up with that. They created that. Over the summer before that football season, they figured out how to get the scoreboard, the timer, when there was a flag on the play, like all these things they were able to figure out on their own, and they're the ones who implemented it. And it's something like that is just unbelievable that, they're able to step up and really figure out how to continue to build and add these things to our program.
That's incredible. That is just awesome. And it kind of feeds upon itself, doesn't it? I mean, when the students take control, it's limitless where it can go, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
100%.
they're the ones with
And
amazing ideas.
yeah, and then as a school administrator, it's really hard to say no when these kids are putting all the effort in. They need to be supported. So sometimes, there's some workarounds. So instead of saying no right away, we're like, how can we make this happen? And make sure it's all across the board. And again, that's where it comes. It's a real team effort. It's a support system from the ground up. So we have, administration support, but the community support. And, this takes money. This equipment takes money, that we just don't have. So the fact that we just keep on building and growing is the most important thing. And the fact that we're a platform to highlight and promote the whole school community as a whole is unbelievable. And looking at a shot like that, having these children have the maturity and composure that I certainly didn't have on the sideline. I'm running and hugging kids and screaming, grabbing my hair. Oh my God, we just won. This is amazing. And to see them have the composure that I wouldn't be able to have in a moment like that. So just goes to show that their skill sets continue to grow.
No question. No question. All right. The event of the year was the Spooktacular. And I like this because it gets into the community. So let's take a look at that now.
Where FRHSD students compete in painting their Halloween-inspired artwork on windows of local businesses in the area. Let's check in with the artists to see how they're doing. Why did you choose your design?
For my design, it's just simple and cute, and also it's the only candy that comes around during Halloween.
I really think Maleficent is beautiful, and it's Halloween, and she's evil.
What's been your favorite part about today?
I guess the opportunity to be here with everyone. It's just showing off all the work and dedication that we all put in.
Getting to paint on the windows and getting to draw all my characters that I created.
How does it feel to see your students competing in this contest?
It feels great. It's one thing to see the students as they're working on their projects in class on a small sheet of paper, but when they can translate it to a bigger canvas like this, it makes me proud to see them be so successful and have such a limited amount of time and do so well in that amount of time.
What's been your biggest challenge today?
Probably the shading. It's been taking us a pretty long time.
I would say the cold.
For those who don't know, can you guys share a little more information about the contest?
The contest started in the 40s when it was just the borough high school, and as the district grew, so did the window painting grow, and it stopped for a few years. We brought it back at least 20 years ago. Now all 6 high schools are involved, and we have retired artists who are judges, so they're judged by actual professionals.
So this year we have 76 windows just with the high school. Kids do a phenomenal job, and it's really just a great event.
Why are opportunities like these so important for our school community?
Spooktacular is one of our favorite events in the Freehold Regional High School District. This just gives a tremendous opportunity for the artists of the district to come out and show all of their skills and talents. And we're just so appreciative to the Freehold Spooktacular Committee and to all of the folks, the community and in the district, and to all the teachers and administrators who make this event possible for all the students.
Well, there you have it, Braves. It's great to be back at the Spooktacular, as this is where my Bravecast journey started with my first segment back in 2022. This has been Jenny Patzer. Now back to you guys in the studio.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I mean, that is that is high quality work there. Not only good interviewing, great questions, but the camera work. I mean, they told a story. I mean, that is phenomenal. And I'm sure the feedback from the community was, I mean, how can you not get excited about your community watching that, right?
Oh no, yeah, 100%. So, I want to take you behind the scenes real fast on
Yes.
that segment. So, um, so that's one of our senior anchors, Jenny. And as she said at the end there, so that was back in 2022. That was her first segment. That she did was when we went and covered. So the Freehold Regional High School District does the Spooktacular window painting contest in a local downtown in Freehold. So basically, all 6 high schools, the art programs choose students to showcase their artwork and paint it on the windows. And what's nice is our team is able to go there and recognize these students for the work that they've put in. But behind the scenes, it's great for our team because as you can see behind me, usually we're filming in a studio, right? So the lighting is
Mm-hmm.
controlled, the audio is controlled, everything is controlled. When you go out into the community like that, our students have to figure out how we're going to light this. How are we going to get the best audio? I mean, right behind Jenny, there's cars constantly driving by. You hear the engines of the cars, you hear horns, there's people walking around, right? So they have to learn how to capture the good audio. They have to learn how to light it correctly. As you said, when they're writing the material, right? Understanding how do we ensure that this segment has value, right? So what questions can we ask these students that really showcase the work, that they've put in? So there's just multiple different avenues. There's the one side where we're recognizing our Manalapan art students and all the work that they've done. And then there's the production side where our students are able to work with the students, with the art teachers, with the Spooktacular committee, right? All these different people to bring that segment to life.
And Beth, I've got to think as an administrator, you've got to love the fact that not only is it involving the community, but it's putting your school out there in the community and maybe being seen in a new light.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of professionalism that is shown through this programming. Interviewing a superintendent of a regional high school district with 6 high schools, and they're calm as cucumber because they don't see this as an after school activity, even though it started as that. They have an immense amount of pride in showcasing their work. And the amount of talent that is seen in that clip alone is unbelievable to me. The editing skills, the performance value, the production value is incredible. But then again, we are highlighting a tradition from, that is decades old, and yet giving it a fresh take and making it so relevant into 2025. And for it to be a student-based, student-written show, it is unbelievable. The amount of pride I can't even express to you, seeing it over and over again. And, that's just a little blip of what we do. Like Mr. Gerardi said, he does a live production every Friday. So the amount of work that goes in here is just incredible. Just immensely proud and so grateful to be part of the opportunity to just witness this greatness and the professionalism. It's unbelievable.
Awesome. So now the question is, what's next for Bravecast? How do you keep building on this? I mean, I know there are challenges because technology constantly changes. So how do you take it to another level?
Once again, a question like this, like I said, I sat down with some of our student leaders, and just I wanted to get their feedback as well, because what's nice about this program is it's extremely student run. So like I said, from the production meeting, that our producer Gracie runs to, then we run breakout rooms where we have our script team, our graphics team, our camera team, right? They all meet up and, kind of figure out what this show is going to look like. And then we all come back together at the end of that production meeting to fill out the production calendar so we all know what we're working on, each and every week. And it's interesting because our students are always adding something new and they're always reflecting, right? So I can think of a really good example where something that we do now. So that, this is our set behind us, and something new we started doing this year was live weather. So while a pre-recorded segment like you just saw, the Spooktacular window painting contest coverage, while that's playing, that gives our students a chance to reset. Our anchors change out their microphones, and all the moves happen. So something new that we implemented, like I said, is live weather. So while a segment like that's playing, our stage crew will bring a green screen in behind me, right? They reposition the cameras, we set up some additional lighting, and then the technical director will overlay that green screen footage live, so that way we're having the weather report. We did this for the first time. Obviously, there were some, technical issues, right, with, the way the chroma key was working, with the way, that when you were pointing to the weather behind you, it wasn't, perfectly lining up. But the second that broadcast was over, our students immediately came together and well, I mean, this was 5 minutes after the show was over. They were already ready to say, all right, next week we're going to make this better. What do we need to do to make this better? And I think that's the core part of what's taken us over these 4 years from, this program that had a few students in it, to now having 60 students that are just super passionate and excited about this. That's what kind of leads to that success. So I think the future of Bravecast, I mean, our students are constantly evolving the show every single week. So, when you talk about what, we see the future looking like, I think it's that our students are going to continue to reflect on what we do and just, want to be able to continue to build, perfect, right? There's always areas to improve. And that's what's nice about a platform like this is, they're able to showcase their ideas and really see, what we can improve on and what we can implement as each show continues.
I love that you give the students a lot of credit, but Beth, brag on Joseph a little bit because the students still have to be directed on what to do, and I know he's got a huge impact on that.
I mean, he's the role model and everything that's good for education. He is good for kids, and he just proves the hard work, a kind heart, and when you care and you're passionate, people will follow. People are drawn to positivity, and in this world, everybody needs a little bit more of that, and especially kids. And what he does for the kids, for the building, for the staff members. I mean, he's a first round draft pick. I say that all the time. But how he connects with people is really his wheelhouse. That's his number one strength, is his connection and how he leads. He meets kids where they're at and just enhances that. So it's quite easy to give people answers or to show people the way, but he actually leads them. He's there right next to them, and really builds up their confidence. And he just has an innate ability to know which each kid needs at that moment. And that's why they're drawn to him. And it's every type of student. He can connect with every type of kid and every type of staff member. And that's what makes him such a remarkable educator, but also an incredible human.
Awesome. Very well said. If someone wants to check out the work, does Bravecast have a channel on YouTube, or where can people see everything you all do?
Yeah, so what's nice is we have we have a few platforms. So the broadcast goes live to YouTube. That's how we broadcast it. So every teacher tunes into the YouTube channel, and then typically about 24 hours after the live broadcast, it'll post on the YouTube channel. So every single broadcast is archived there. So you just search Manalapan High School on YouTube, and that comes up. From there, that'll also take you to the website where you can see a lot of the behind the scenes work on, different events and stuff that our students work on. And then our students are really passionate too about our Instagram account. So we had, one student, Kaylin, who kind of launched that Instagram account. And, from there, they're able to post a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Like I said, the stuff that when the broadcast is really good, technically no one knows that that's going on, right? So it's nice to be able to take a step back and see that hard work that happens behind the scenes, that would be missed otherwise.
If someone watching this is like, wow, that's something we need to do, what advice would you have for someone who's thinking about starting a broadcast, or for a student who's thinking about maybe trying to do something on their own similar to this?
Well, the first
That's
thing,
a
if
great.
you're a student, you would definitely need the backing of a faculty member to advocate for you and support you. Because this is really, truly a team effort. It's not just one person that's behind this, even though, Mr. Girardi is definitely the foundational piece and it has grown into something big, but it's because everybody has an ownership of it. So, everyone has a sense of pride. So it's finding the right people and just, keep reflecting, as Mr. Girardi said, keep growing, keep moving forward, and start small, but just reach for the stars and just keep on growing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to kind of piggyback off of that too. Like she said, you really got to start with something small. I'm going to reflect back to, like I said, in 2021. I mean, we made it work with a camera, a couple of microphones, just very bare bones. And once again, if you have the passion and the ideas, right, or that want to create these ideas, you could do that with any equipment. The equipment does not necessarily, dictate that. It really is the passion, the want, the need to be able to do that. And as Miss English said, it takes a group, right? It takes more than one person to be able to pull this off. So here, I mean, we have unbelievable support from our administration, from our community, from our staff, right? And when people see that we're promoting positivity, that we're promoting our students, people gravitate towards that. And I think, if you have that passion to want to spread positivity, uh, like Miss English said, you really start small and you just keep building from there.
I love the fact that you all keep talking about positivity. We definitely need more of that in the world, and you all are doing a phenomenal job of providing that, not only for your school but for your community as well. So congratulations on that. Congratulations on all the awards, and I have a feeling we'll probably be talking with you again next year. And I'd almost be disappointed if we weren't, because Bravecast is doing such a phenomenal job. But again, thank you so much for taking the time and telling your story. And we hope to check in again with you very soon.
Blair, thank you so much again for having us.
You bet.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
again. Thank you.
You bet. And have a great day.